Gas prices will skyrocket. Did you fuel your car recently? Well, if yes, then you allowed a gas supply shortage. It loomed just because of you. Feeling challenged to understand what I'm saying? Then just tell me, have you observed a recent evolution in gas prices? Yes guys, pain at the pump is back. You must be ready for a headache, as gas prices have climbed to their highest in recent times. The national average for gas price was about $3.78 per gallon on the 1st of August. You may know that today's gas prices are far lower than they were a year ago, when the world faced a crisis due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But industry experts say the jump is unusual. Are you curious about the situation? Want to discover the reasons behind this jump? Then stay tuned until the end of this video, as the facts I'll share with you will just blow your mind. And what about your role in raising gas prices? But before we continue, click that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. This channel will keep you updated on the most intriguing videos on economic topics all around the world. We observe a supply and demand strategy in almost every industry. The same is the case for the oil and gas industry. But this time, trends evolved. Demand is less, but still, supply is less. Fewer people are fueling their vehicles this summer. Then, what causes such elevation? Let me tell you two straightforward reasons. The first, and most important reason, is the rising oil prices. Crude oil prices influence retail gasoline prices, as you'll notice a rapid change in gasoline prices due to disruptions in crude oil supplies. The US is a net importer of crude oil, despite being the world's largest oil producer. It imports oil mainly from Canada, Saudi Arabia, and Mexico. As the US relies on other countries to maintain the oil industry, the global crude oil market largely influences its gas prices. Many geopolitical factors affect the crude oil market, but the most considerable influence is the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, led by Saudi Arabia. OPEC has production targets for its 13 member countries, and definitely oil prices are linked to changes in OPEC production. The rise in gas prices wasn't just a surprise for July and August. Prices really spiked in early June 2023. Saudi Arabia planned for that. It needed money for its long-term plan, Vision 2030. So, it announced that it had decreased the production by at least 1 million barrels per day through July. OPEC also planned the same thing, but was more excited. It announced a decrease of 1.6 million barrels per day. But what made Saudi Arabia and OPEC plan this crisis? Honestly, they wanted to raise the oil prices. Everything has been done after planning the proper steps. OPEC wanted to manipulate the prices. It limited the supply of crude oil in global markets, so it can effectively use its monopoly and impact prices as it wants. The second major reason is rising mercury. July was one of the hottest months for many parts of the nation. Copernicus Climate Change Service has warned that this month will likely be the hottest July ever. According to the observations, this July recorded the hottest 3-week period. It's due to human activities that caused climate change and ultimately disasters like wildfires and rising temperatures. According to AAA, the heat makes people stay home, but it's also making refineries stop working. But why? Refineries typically work between 32 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 and 35 degrees Celsius. These are dangerous places, so working at higher temperatures isn't recommended. That caused constriction in their products this year. But is it possible for refineries to struggle with this challenge? Write your thoughts in the comments so you can compare your answer with the actual scene after I explain it. The answer is yes, it's possible. Some refineries struggle to manage heat losses, but they deserve high profits. They compensate for their extra efforts and investments with high gas prices. Let's see behind the scenes to explore this situation in the most exciting way possible. That'll clarify your role in the price increase. For example, you're using oil to fuel your car. You're indirectly raising gas prices. Listen closely. Oil is a fossil fuel. When it burns, it releases carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a positive gas, but plays a harmful role in this scene. It absorbs heat and causes global warming. Global warming then causes high temperatures and gas infrastructure issues. The resulting high temperature affects the operations of gas refineries. It may cause strain on their equipment and interrupt their cooling systems. As I told you before, high temperatures also cause safety concerns. You can expect this high temperature to take many risks, such as heat-related illness and even death. These were two main reasons, but these were based on facts we can't change. Before we move forward, let me tell you one thing. The supply and demand technique works somehow in this aspect. We can't instantly observe it, but it's working secretly. I'll expose its style later in this video. Now, I'm concerned about the future. Will the price of oil continue to go up? JP Morgan's head of Global Committee Strategy, Natasha Kanevis, said, production cuts from OPEC and its allies and sanctions on Iran, Venezuela and Russia, shifting global crude supply, are all affecting supply and boosting prices. There's one more problem. The US is exporting 2 cargoes of gasoline for every cargo it imports. If the US doesn't take considerable action regarding this problem, drivers will soon see their pockets empty. As I told you, prices depend on the strategies of refineries. The US government must look after them to support the gas industry. It's time to accept the condition and build strategies to save gas. Let me share some. First, reduce your luxurious activities. You can't stay the same forever. It's essential to align with the circumstances to avoid long-term loss. I suggest you avoid over-interest in fueling your car, even if you can afford it. You can style your outdoor activities the way you want, but wait for prices to go normal. Why pay higher when you can get the same thing at lower prices? So, you've decided to quit your luxurious activities. But what about commuting to work? You can still save your fuel by following some strategies. The first thing to notice is that when you go fast, your car goes through rolling and air resistance. It increases fuel consumption and decreases fuel economy. You can use cruise control to maintain a constant speed on the highway. Next thing, stay out of your comfort zone. Try grouping to reduce your fuel. You can do something like sharing your car with your colleague and making them share their car with you. One day, you'll be using your car and another day, your colleague's car. So, both of you will be able to save each other's fuel. Notice one more thing. More weight, more fuel. Yes, more weight requires more gas to propel your car. For example, if you're 100 pounds extra in your trunk, your fuel economy will reduce by about 1%. So remember these points and enjoy less burden. You'll not be worried much about the increase in global prices as your personal budget is maintained. That was about your personal role, but who actually controls gas prices? Let me tell you, the gas price depends on many factors that work long before the fuel reaches a gas station. The prices don't directly depend on current market conditions. The cost is influenced by the situation happening weeks or months before. So, this lag makes gas prices take time to rise or fall. So, don't think any shocking news would instantly impact the gas industry. The most important thing is supply and demand. Even if it's not observed, it affects. Let's take the previous example. China is now demanding a considerable amount of fuel. China has faced a severe burden on its economy due to COVID restrictions. But they're now feeling fortunate to reopen their activities. They definitely have to compensate for the loss, so they'll be more active in many aspects. That requires the utilization of more oil and gas resources. Let's imagine when 1.4 billion citizens return to their day-to-day activities, how much will the fuel demand increase be? It'll definitely take gas prices to the next stage. That's not all about serious activities. Citizens would also love to begin enjoying their lives as they were used to before COVID. They'd love to enjoy their summer by travelling, going for road trips, gatherings, etc. So, there you have it. we've discussed the reasons behind the high prices of fuel in detail. I suggest you plan your own strategy to cope with the situation, so you can enjoy driving with a thick pocket. But what do you think of this scenario? What do you think about the US strategy? Why does it import even more oil than how much it exports? Share your thoughts in the comments. We hope this video gave you a comprehensive understanding of the recent increase in gas price. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more in-depth content.